These are the stories making headlines at this hour. And 3 people have been killed in a standoff between police and protesters in mlolongo. And this was this morning. The ongoing violence started as protesters turned up in response to opposition calls and then escalated, leading to barricades on the expressway and causing traffic interruptions. Ayub Abdikadir is live from mlolongo. What's the scenario now, Ayub?
Victoria, good afternoon. Absolute chaos in mlolongo. And police and protesters since morning at 11 a.m. until now at 4 p.m. have been engaged in confrontation and standoff. And they did protest against what they termed as the high cost of living in the country, which has been the mantra that the opposition had fronted in wanting the government to address some of the issues that they have highlighted as their demands. But the unfortunate incident is the installation and infrastructure behind me, which is the toll station of the expressway, which ends here in mlolongo, that the police at the moment and security agencies are securing because of its critical importance and the significance it does bear. And coming to the issue about what the police have raised was the looting that the protester had planned here at the toll station, and that is what they are at the moment managing to hold off and ensure that they do protect that. Also, the damage done to the exterior fence of the expressway, and it looks, if you at the moment, as you are seeing on your screens, relatively calm, but the damage done to the expressway, as you can see, the exterior fence that the protesters managed to damage after they managed to overpower at some point the police officials before reinforcements came in from the counties of Machakos and, of course, in Nairobi. And we had different parts of the components of the security personnel in the country who are here. Again, the other unfortunate incident which happened, Vicky, is that, as you are seeing at the moment, the protesters at some point also behind me had managed to hurl stones at Quickmart supermarket and the building that houses the same. And at the intervention of the police and security agencies is when they had managed to retreat back to the hiding areas. And police, as you can see at the moment, are hot on their heels. And this is largely what has been happening since morning, Vicky, here on the day that the opposition had called for the protest following last Friday's Sabasaba march. On the left end here, Vicky, is the traffic snarl up from travelers from the counties of Machakos, Makueni and in Mombasa, who are still holed up in this traffic because of the tense situation along the road. Now that the expressway is closed, you can see how evident it is of the traffic, and that bearing brunt on some of the transporters who we talked to. And they did say that the crisis at some point had led to losses in terms of their businesses because they do ply this road on daily basis, but today, because of the standoff between police and protesters, they couldn't manage, and therefore that having a bearing on their businesses, and that happening, as you can see, of the traffic jam that is stretching all the way to the 2 footbridges that connect mlolongo and Nairobi. That happening here, Vicky, is in a nutshell, as you can see, also the road which was rather made impassable, and the flower holders, as you can see, and the sand that the protesters managed to damage, which is one of the unfortunate incidences that had happened this morning here, and the protesters managing to do this damage, as you can see, to a scale that the authorities have said will rather have a bearing in terms of the economy. So we did manage to speak to police officials who said that they managed to get reinforcement from Machakos County and also parts of Nairobi in ensuring that they keep off the protesters from further committing more damage or doing more damage on this very important installation. And the infrastructure, which I mentioned earlier behind me, which is the toll station where the cash is kept for those who pay cash at the Nairobi Expressway, which ends here in mlolongo, and police standing there to keep security and a guard ensuring that all is in order. But the protesters aren't giving up. They are still retreating, getting back again, engaging the police in running battles, and that has been the common tradition here since morning, Vicky, in mlolongo.